welcome to 108 Gate, where we are doing the Divine Masculine reading first. Hope you are all well. I hope you are managing to find your way through some of these challenging energies. Resignation. Say goodbye to what you no longer need. Say goodbye to that which is not helping you, not serving you. Feeling that it's exhausting to have held on to a lot of these things. So a natural part of the process is to let it go. A natural part of the next steps is it's like we've said it before, that you're going forward in certain areas in your life. Therefore, the natural reaction is understanding, trusting more so, and believing that I can let this part go now. Because the connection with the higher frequency things, the higher quality things is getting stronger. You're having more faith and trust in it in some areas. For those of you who are going there, and the gratitude, there you go, the gratitude that you're feeling for the opportunities that are coming in. And I don't necessarily mean it's a new job or it's a new project. It can be that, but it's even more subtle than that. It's a new thought pattern, a new perspective of someone or something, which liberates your mind. It liberates your emotional ties. It blocks you. It's blocking certain energies from coming in a good way. So it's preventing certain negative energies that would have been able to just access your fields before. They're not having the same access to your energy fields. They're not having the same access to your resources. So you're building up, not from being aggressive or anything, but you're organically and naturally, your wisdom, your awareness increasing is building a stronger, more organic foundation for your defense space, your defense mechanisms. It's an evolution of your defense mechanism. So if you're in a high stress level or a high stress space before, more of that is releasing, because you can trust and see how it occurred, why it occurred. Therefore, it's like now you're actually pre-consciously and consciously able to identify more so of, I don't need to hold on to this anymore because that particular threat is no longer here. We spoke about it in a different previous reading, and now it's actually becoming more apparent in your day-to-day, in your consciousness, like I said, and your pre-consciousness. So on some level it is quite daunting, but at the same time it's like you already knew and felt and sensed that some of this is coming in. So your ability to trust the process is going to speed up the momentum of the transmutation of energies, the transitioning from being scared and reluctant to do things into being more confident and enthused about doing things. Right, so let me get one here. I have lots of light here. I don't know quite why it doesn't seem like there's much light on the camera, and I haven't got the third light on, so I'm sorry about that, but I really, yeah, it's not going to happen today. Anyway, it looks like we're okay. I'll try again for the feminine reading to see if I can get a different light. Right, so getting the masculine card. There we go. Hermiting, quite healthily, quite satisfactory to be in a hermit mode, because it's disconnecting from those flows of energy that we don't need. It's helping you identify more so of what's yours and what was others, and just letting it go. The more you're letting it go, they may try to attach, but it's becoming less and less likely that they will be able to reattach, because you are becoming further away from it, moving away from it with greater confidence. So you're not dithering, you're not having that second guessing of yourself, of your choices. Like I said, if you are doing something new and you're having a new idea, the initial reaction sometimes is to basically like, should I be doing this or should I not? But now that's why the focus was to remain on where you're going, where it feels correct. Just focus on that. So those of you who meditate, you might understand more so of like why that is important, because if you're focusing and meditating on a particular point and you hit that sweet spot, then it's about holding that sweet spot for longer, not grasping onto it, because then you also want your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your energies to evolve. So it's just when you catch that sweet spot and you find that sweet spot and you just bathe in it, you are utilising the tranquility of it, utilising the insight, utilising the neutrality of it, and just really going for it. So that is where you strengthen your internal emotional muscles, your psychological muscles, your consciousness, your ability to connect with your consciousness in a more healthy and neutral manner. Sometimes subjective when it needs to be, sometimes objective when it needs it to be. But the beauty of it is that you're mastering this, that you're identifying the difference and what's more appropriate, what's more applicable, what's more useful, easier and quicker. There you go, King of Coins. The value in this is immeasurable, because if you think about, even in a short amount of time, say for a week, what kind of emotional and psychological hurdles have you jumped over, even in just a week? And when you think about the strength that's building up, especially in the last few days, this is why I said the configuration right now is absolutely power-packed. Absolutely power-packed. So to utilise all of it that you possibly can, start going through it, and then identifying also, if for some reason it's coming in, it might be more explored in the feminine reading, but where you've made life difficult for yourself in the past, in that you didn't realise it could be a lot easier, and letting those things go too. So we're going to get one more for the masculine here. Page of Coins. So the value of old things, the value of established things, bringing in new things. So these new muscles, these new psychological muscles that are building, these new emotional muscles that are building, this new connection to your emotional well-being, your emotional strength, your courage. It's just going to expand, it's going to enhance, it's going to accelerate, it's going to be more than you could imagine it to be. There you got Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups, desire, so letting go of those things. Interestingly, there's the two, it looks like smoke coming, like a candle, or it looks like it's reminding me of like frankincense on coal, charcoal. You're burning the frankincense and clearing things from the higher consciousness to be able to let more of your higher consciousness in. So the debris that's blocking you connecting with your third eye, blocking you connecting from your higher consciousness, letting that debris go, because you're seeing that the big chunks of what was keeping you stuck and still in the past, or even not so long ago, you're able to let go of that better. You're able to let go of that with less guilt, less shame, or no shame anymore, no guilt, because you're realising more and more so that was a way of a construction of controlling you. That control, once you realise it was false, let it go. Therefore empowering yourself, therefore bringing in more power and regaining your power, regaining so much more of your connection with the higher intelligence. Empress guiding this process. The feminine energy in this is really strong, so I'm really quite looking forward to doing the feminine reading after this. Letting go of the debris, letting go of the emotional blackmail, letting go of the emotional turmoil, the torment, all of that, just letting it go. Very beautiful epiphanies this morning, but they didn't necessarily come in a very beautiful context or moment, but there was some kind of acknowledgement of like certain things being said or done in a very, very new, fresh manner. This is here, and it's almost as though the soul a part of the soul woke up, and like, I've never experienced that before. Not in the way that I had at that time, not in the way that the words were spoken, in the whole context was just, it was perfect. But if someone was to be outside looking in, it'd be quite an ugly scene, an ugly context. But the actual thing that was happening was beautiful and amazing, and it has led to certain epiphanies and certain liberation in the emotional space, in the psychological space. Quite something. I hope that is available more. So we've got lots of swords, and they're going that way. It does feel important that the debris is going out that way. The smoke is being cleared. The smoke is clearing certain things, and the swords are bringing certain this way. This is standing like a core of protection, a new protection. But all these other things that were creating conflict led to having to protect self in a certain manner. It can be that sometimes people are like, you don't need to be so rude, you don't need to be so defensive, you don't need to be so whatever. And it's like, actually I do. Because if you weren't being so whatever, then I wouldn't have to be. But if you're bringing me a reason that I have to defend myself, you're bringing me a reason or a situation where I have to be like, hold on a second, how is it justified that someone can come in a certain way, but it's not justified that one can protect themselves? I'm not even going to go into it, but even if you just look at the certain situations that are happening, I'm not going into that, but on a micro level, in your own context, in your own world, someone comes in a defensive or aggressive manner, do you not have the right to protect yourself? That's all I'm saying. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with anyone or anything. I'm just saying, in a personal, your own realm, your own field, if someone doesn't like you protecting yourself, someone doesn't like you being defensive, someone doesn't like you bringing up a shield when they're attacking, what does that say about them? What does that say about them? And possibly this could be why for so long that you always just kind of didn't protect yourself, didn't have the defences up, because you felt like you just allowed them to pummel you. And it's not that you're wrong to do that, it's just that you're led to believe that this is your purpose, this is the way it's supposed to be. Just let anyone just pummel you with horrible words, with horrible this and horrible that, and it becomes a habit, or you've seen it happen like that, and it becomes like an example of the way you just allow people to pummel you. No longer. Not acceptable. Not to be happening. 6 of Wands, looking to the victory from this, looking to the higher good from this, looking to clearing your higher consciousness of any debris that's blocking it from running smoothly, thinking smoothly, feeling at ease, feeling more confident in the way you're stepping forward, because you can feel and you can sense it's aligned with your higher self. You can feel and sense that what you thought was your purpose may not actually be true. Excuse me. You may have that shifting and changing. It's not necessarily all of it is removed. It may be that you were heading in that direction, and now you've got to just tweak it a bit and go in that direction. Like I said before, I think it was the last channel, when they were looking in space with certain cameras, it was the fraction of a hair. If the camera they were looking through, the lens they were looking through, the whatever it was, if they were a fraction of a hair in a different direction, from this point to that point, they wouldn't have seen the black hole the way they say they have seen it. They wouldn't see certain things because the distance from here to there is very small. But as you go out, and the trajectory is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you go out, far, 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 far out, the gap between this point, that point, as you go out, is bigger. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. So the gap that's occurred, it shows where the dissonance has been within self. It shows where you've been incongruent, not connected from yourself, because it's been happening for so long. Even though it looks like a tiny gap there, if it's even at the tiniest 0.2 whatever of a degree, even less than that, by the time you've gone out into time, into space, into experience, into emotions, the gap seems bigger and bigger. The beauty of it is you can bring it back to self. You can use alchemy, you can use this, you can use that, you can, all those tools you've been building up within yourself. Now's the time. Now is the time to utilise. 5 cups. Interesting. All of them are upright on this particular card in this deck. Usually you got 3 up, 2 down. That one is empty. The biggest one looks empty. Who knows, it might not be. Looking at situations differently, looking at them as in like, yes, you've still got the cup, you've still got yourself, you've still got you as a vessel. Clean it out. Prevent it from being attacked again. Stop it from being pierced. Your auric field, keep it protected. All the tears in the auric field to be healed and cleansed and purified, and just keep strengthening yourself, strengthening yourself and strengthening yourself. This is absolutely amazing energy. I hope you got something from this. I'm going to go on to doing the Divine Feminine reading now, and for those of you who want to go on to find more about your zodiac readings, there is the monthly zodiac reading up, and so go into the individual playlists. So for now, enjoy this divine masculine empowerment. Peace and love.